Ukraine is in the early stages of a long-planned counteroffensive to win back roughly a fifth of its homeland from Russian occupiers. But today, as Kyiv intensified its ground attacks, Moscow struck back with air assaults, which devastated a residential area in central Ukraine. Russian missiles raining down on the hometown of Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky early today, leaving behind apocalyptic scenes. Rescue workers battled the blazes through the morning at a 5-story residential building. The strikes killed at least 11 people, the highest toll from any single Russian attack since April. Those who survived described the horrors of the nighttime assault.
We were asleep. All windows were shattered. I'm still confused how it all happened. At first there was a loud bang, the cars caught on fire, and the window here was blown out. It was bad, seriously.
It came as Ukraine continues its counteroffensive, broadcasting footage of what appeared to be early phases of its long-planned military action. Today, Kyiv's deputy defense minister outlined 4 focal points of his army's counteroffensive in the south and the east. Military analysts say Ukraine is striking at fortified Russian positions, along hundreds of miles of trenches, bunkers, and minefields.
These defensive fortifications are only as good as the soldiers in them.
We asked former U.S. Army Europe commander Ben Hodges about whether the Russian lines will hold.
I'm waiting to see, are the Russian troops better at defense than they were in the attack? If they don't do any better than they did in the attack, then it won't matter how many trenches there are. But I also see on the trenches, none of them have overhead cover. So people that are in those trenches, when the artillery starts on them, they're all going to be killed.
Today, independent video confirmed early signs of Ukrainian breakthroughs in the southeast. Footage showed military vehicles driving dusty roads near retaken villages, while a Ukrainian flag fluttered over the remains of a grocery store in another captured town.
3 days ago, the Russian forces were still here. We chased them out. Glory to Ukraine. This village was under Russian occupation for a year and a half, but these are Ukrainian lands.
Meantime, Moscow claimed its own rewards, releasing videos showing of what appeared to be a captured German-made Leopard 2 tank and a U.S.-made Bradley fighting vehicle.
There's a difference between the beginning of the offensive, which clearly has started, and the beginning of the main attack. When we see 2 or 3 armored brigades, I mean, that's between 500 and 700 armored vehicles of all types. When we see that, then I'll think, okay, that looks like main attack. But even then, it could be a feint, to draw Russian attention away from where the real main attack is.
In Washington today, NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg met with President Biden and said Ukraine's counteroffensive would send a strong message to Russia.
It's still early days, but what we do know is that the more land Ukrainians are able to liberate, the stronger hand they will have at the negotiating table. And also the more likely it will be that President Putin at some stage will understand that he will never win this war of aggression.
But earlier today in Moscow, Vladimir Putin reiterated that after 15 months of war, none of his objectives have changed.
All in all, there are no significant changes in terms of the goals we set for ourselves at the beginning of the operation. Nothing has changed today.
And as fighting rages across a 600-mile front, a humanitarian disaster still unfolds in Kherson. Soldiers picked apart buildings as they continue to rescue trapped residents, 1 week after a disastrous dam collapse flooded the southern region.